traveling is absolutely integral part of climbing for me. Climbing without traveling would probably still be climbing, but I just wouldn't like it as much as I do like climbing with all the traveling that is included. Nevertheless, all of this for me is still climbing. If I think about climbing, it's not only about like grabbing a crimp and holding it and crimping it. It's more about like experiencing the whole climbing experience, such as like being in the nature and having a nice dinner, drink a glass of wine and being around the fire, stuff like this. For sure the best feeling was when I finished high school and I did my final exams and I took 1 year off and all I had to do is just to travel around, and I was searching for the best and hardest cracks possibly, and I found it in Norway. But I think the best ticket for the freedom was to have a driving license for sure. So 2 years ago I started studying in university economics. It's not necessarily that I already think about my future. I don't really know what's gonna happen in 10 years. But at the same time it's kind of a backup, and at the same time I really had this goal in my mind to win the World Championships in lead. And as I was thinking about it, to have better chance to do well on the competitions, it would be better to better train at home and train hard. But if you have this possibility to travel around, it's just too hard to stay at home and train. So that's why I decided, it would be quite good to start studying, and that would make me stay at home and train harder for the competitions, ultimately. I'm totally passionate about climbing, and I just love it. And there are very, very few moments when I tell myself, right now I just don't want to climb. But when I train, when I train as hard as I train according to the Pachi's program, for sure sometimes it's just too much. But in the end you just need to think about it, that it's still something you love to do. It's still climbing, and climbing is something that I love. So, and during these training periods, ultimately what I do is that I just climb a lot. But overcoming this kind of enormous fatigue and getting into this psychological mode when I totally forget how actually tired I am, and I'm just in the zone, and the ultimate goal of the training session is just to do the next move, to climb as far as possible in my training circuit, is the satisfaction. It's the liberty of my mind, I would say, in those moments when I'm really in the zone and just going for it and forgetting all the pain. Basically, sometimes I'm turning the pain into the joy thing. Well, people keep asking me that in a few years there will be just nothing left to climb for me, and I say, well, actually, the more I climb, the more I realize that it's total bullshit. The more I travel, the more I'm surprised how many new projects I keep finding, and they don't even have to be that far from my home. I think it's more kind of exciting that there are enough challenges, there are enough routes all around the world that are gonna keep me busy until the rest of my life. You might be wondering what really motivates me to train so hard, to push the boundaries in climbing. And it's not only about the challenge, it's not only about like my personal satisfaction that I'm getting better and maybe showing the others, hey man, I'm the best. It's also just because somehow it's more fun to climb harder routes. I think freedom is something that you can't really imagine what it is in reality. I would say freedom without passion, without one thing you're passionate about, is just worthless. Climbing is my passion, and I have the freedom to do it, and I consciously just chose so many years ago that climbing is the thing that I want to do in my life. And that decision happened pretty much when I was like 7 years old. At that moment, I just decided, okay, I want to be possibly maybe the best climber. And since then, I've been pretty much doing all I could possibly do. And well, I've never regretted this decision, and I'm totally happy man. Because at the same time, I knew already at that moment that if all of this is gonna get through, I'll be very happy. And I'm 22 now, and I am a very happy person. I can't really imagine myself living any better.